No, now I want to find all those users whose age is greater than 35. So here it's 30, 50, and 30. So I want to find. So if you want to find in ES5 way, what you do is you use var equal to 0, I less than users dot length, I plus plus. You check if individual users of I dot age is greater than 35. Then I want that those particular users. So what you can do, you can found users, create array. When you have something, multiple things you want, you create array. So you push that to the array. If you have only one value, so let's say I want to find a particular user with that age 50. So let's say instead of 35, I want to find with age 50. So I can just say found user, which is not initialized initially. So you should use let. So once you use const, you have to initialize there. But I want to initialize this, assign a value here. So you should use let, not const. Now here I can say found user equal to users of I. So what I'm doing, I am looping through this users array. I am checking if that individual element, individual user's age is equal to 50. If it's there, then I assign that particular object to the found user. But the issue with this, it will keep checking. If now initially this is equal to 50, it will get that. Now if I have another user Jerry1 with the same age, so what will happen? This found user will be the last one. So let me print this found user. So you can see found one is always Jerry1. So even if there is a user with age 50, I always get last one because I'm not stopping looping. So once I found that element, I am still again continuing. So to avoid that, you can add a break. So break is used to come out of a loop. So here what I can do is once I get that element, I store the user array, found user variable, and I will come out of this for loop. So now it will not continue for the next element, and this found user will be the second element. So let me print it like this so you will better see. You can see now you get Jerry, which is the second element. It's not Jerry1, it's Jerry. If you don't add break, it will be Jerry1. So that's important. So you whenever this is the older way, of finding element. But with the new find method, you can easily write this. So I can say users dot find. So again, this is array method. So you have to use on array. You cannot use on object number or anything else. So here what I can do is I can return, can check this condition. Users of age equal to 50. And I can say found. So you can see found, you get this should be user. So you get exact same result. So this is and this are exact same. So you have simplified it a lot using find method. So find method, what it returns? It returns when that particular condition matches. So for the find method, you need to define a condition. So when that condition becomes true, this find method will return that particular object which it's iterating through. So right now it's object, that's why you are getting object as a result here. So you need to define a condition which will be checked for each element of that array. So for each element, for during the first iteration, it will check if user dot age equal to 50, no, it will continue. If this user's age equal to 50, yes. So as soon as it finds that, it will break. So you don't need to add break here. You can see you always get jerry, not jerry1. So when the array find method finds any element, it immediately breaks. You don't have to manually add. And as you are using arrow function, you can simplify this. You can directly use implicit return. So when you have single statement in arrow function, you can directly return. As I said, you don't need curly bracket, you don't need return. So this you can do everywhere. So whenever you have single line of code, you can directly use this. So this exactly works like this. So in the map, wherever you are using here, so let's say here I am using user.h. So let's say index map. Here I am printing age. So age is 30, 50. So you don't have to write it on separate lines. You can just return user.h. This is like a simplified version, and you can see it still works. It correctly returns. So when you have single statement, you don't have to write it on separate line. Here also, you can write it on same line. So what you are doing, you are implicitly returning. So return keyword is automatically added when you have single statement. You can see it still works. So here, when you have multiple lines of code, then you can open curly bracket for arrow functions. And if you have single statement, you can directly return. So let's say this is just for showing you how it works, but you can return this on single line. So I can say split of 1. So I just want the first element. So it will correctly print the surnames. This is in bracket. Surnames. Where is it? Yeah, you can see you correctly get the surnames. You don't have to use this. So if possible, always try to avoid writing curly bracket and return statement. This was just to see how it works, what you get in split, what you get, how you can access those elements. So whenever possible, you can directly use this shortcut, implicit return syntax. So if I have numbers, 10, 20, 40. So I want element if that is whose value is 40. So I can say matching number equal to numbers dot find. I will get individual number, and I can just check if number is equal to 40. So whenever you are comparing, always use triple equal to instead of double equal to. That's a good practice, because when you are using double equal to in JavaScript, these value might be in different types, data types. So they will still equal. But when you are using double equal to, it also checks the data type. So this is of number type. So if these are strings, so let's say this is a string, and you are checking in double equal. And if I print matching number, you will still get that 40. You can see, you still get that 40, but this is not correct. This is a string. You need to check with string. So if you check with this, you will get 40, which is correct. But this is a number. So this is a string and this is a number. So when you use triple equal to, JavaScript will check for the value as well as the data type. So this is a string and this is a number. So they are not equal. So when they are not equal, you will not get anything back. So undefined will become. So when you don't find anything with that matching condition, find method will return undefined. It's important to know that. So you can directly use a condition here. If I found the matching number, then I want to print this. Else, no element found. No matching element. You can see, you see no matching element found, because this matching number is not this condition is not true for any of the element of the array. So find method will keep checking for each individual element of this numbers array if this condition is true or not. So for any element, if that condition becomes true, that particular element will be returned. So now if I say just 40, what you will get is number 40 you will get. You can see matching number 40. So previously each individual user was an object. So you get, when I say found, you get individual, that user, found user. You can see you get that object, entire object, because individual user is the object. Here you are looping through numbers array, and this individual number is a number, it's of integer type. So that's why you always get that integer value back if it contains some object. So let's say instead of this, it's an object. So you can declare array with different data types. So I can say Mike. So here what happens is number, I can say dot name equal to Mike. This is not correct. You will not see some written like this, but just to give an example, so this number dot name. So what will happen for the first element? So first element number is 10, 10 dot name. So that is not correct. So what will happen is you will get undefined here. So if I print this, let me print it. Value number dot name. So you can see you get undefined twice, because for the first two elements number is the actual number, it's not object. So you will get 10, 20, and when you access properties of that, you will get undefined. So only for the last element you will have number dot name property, and when it matches you get that particular value back. So right now it's object, so you will get this matching number is actually object. You can see you get that object. So whatever you are iterating, that data type value you will get. So if it's a number, you will get number. It's an object, you will get object back. So find method will return that particular element back. So whatever it finds. But this is not the correct way, writing some number, some string, some array like that. So you will always see, write it like this. So if you have single thing, you can say number is equal to, let's say 20. So if there is a 20 number, you will get that back. If there is no 20 number, so I can write any condition. So if there is number is not equal to 20, so this during each iteration, first iteration, you will get 10 as the value. So number is 10. So I can say 10 is not equal to 20, true. So this condition becomes true and you immediately return 10 as the result. You can see you get 10. So you don't have to always write triple equal. You can write any condition. I can say greater than 20. So is this greater than 20? No. So it will again keep checking for second element. Is this greater than 20? No. So again it will check for third element. Is 30 greater than 20? Yes. So you will get 30 as the result. You can see you get 30 as. So you can write any condition. You don't have to write a simple condition. You can have complex condition also. So for this, we don't have any complex condition. So let's say for this, you have multiple properties. So let's say is matching name. So I want to check if user dot name equal contains Mike. So it can contain Mike, it can contain anything. So I want to check. So let's say, let me write first. So I'm checking if name matches with Mike and age is greater than 30. So I can say const is matching name is matching age user dot age is greater than 20, let's say. So now I want to find all the users whose name is Mike and whose age is greater than 20. So I can check condition here. Is matching name and is matching age, then I will return true. So in the find method, you always returns true or false. So when you directly write this condition, it will always return true or false. So you need to make sure whatever condition you are checking, it should return true or false. So if that condition is something complex, you manually need to return true. So when you return true, find method will stop if the condition is satisfied. If it's not true, I will return false. So what I am checking here, I am checking if user dot name equal to Mike. Yes, there is a user, but name is not Mike. Name is entire Mike Jackson. So what I need to do is, I need to just split. So let me first do entire name check. So I am checking if name is Mike Jackson and age is greater than 20. Now this person's age is greater than 20, yes. So both are conditions are satisfied. So it will return true. And when it find method returns true, the find method will return that particular element. So this is the matching element. So it will return that entire object as the found value. You can see you get the Mike Jackson as the result. But if there is no Mike Jackson, let's say M is small. So what happens? This condition will fail. So if you know, this is logical AND operator. So as we have seen previously, only the falsy value. So if I say true and hello, you will get hello back. If I add hi, you will get hi back. And if this is false, you immediately get false back. If this is 0, you will get immediate false, immediate 0. So whatever value first, you will get that. And that is the falsy value. So this will return false. When something is false, this if condition will become false and it will go into else condition. So this find method will go into else. So inside else, inside if. So you will always see this else condition. You can see inside else. So for it's, you can see it's 4 times, 4 count is printed because you are looping through find till you get these matching conditions. But for none of the elements, none of the object, this condition is not matching because there is no user with this Mike Jackson. There is no user with, there is a user with age greater than 20, but only if both of these conditions are true, then it will go here. So if I make this capital, it will matching with the first element. So you will not see 4 count, you will see only 1 count because once it find method finds that particular element, it will immediately return true. So you can see, you see inside if only once and then you get that particular. When find method, you are returning true from the find method, that find will immediately stop. Until you are not returning true, the for loop will continue to check for other elements until all the elements in the array are not looped. So here, let's say I want to check. So let's say I want to check if the name is Mike, name contains Mike. So what we can do is, we can split it by space and take the 0th element and I will convert it into lowercase. And here I will check with Mike. So you can see here it goes. So let me check user dot, it should be split by space. So you can see you get particular Mike Jackson as the result. What I am doing, I am splitting by space. So you have an array. So this will return an array containing 2 elements. First is Mike, second is Jackson. I just want the first element. So I am taking 0th element. and I'm converting it to lowercase using two lowercase string method, and I'm checking with lowercase. So even if I check with uppercase, this will not match because this is now in lowercase. So you will get undefined. But if I convert it into lowercase, directly get this found element. So you can write complex condition. You don't have to write just equal to, greater than, equal to. If you have some complex condition, you can write that. So you just need to return that you return true when that condition is true. And this is also not, this is fine because you are returning, you have some complex conditions. But let's say I just want to check if name equal to, where is it? Yeah, let's say this number equal to 20. So this you can write it like this: const is found, if is found, then return true, else return false. So you can write like this. So matching number is greater than 20. Where is the matching number? Yeah, here. If it's greater than 20, this is false. This is greater than 20, this is false. This is greater than 20. So you will get 30 as the result. So this extra lines of code is exactly same as writing just this. So what you are doing, you are checking if number is greater than 20, yes. So you immediately return that value. So this greater than operator returns true or false. So you don't need to write this extra code. So here you are manually checking. If it's found, return true, else return false. So this number, this condition itself does the same thing. If it's greater than 20, it returns true. If it greater than, not greater than 20, it returns false. So you don't have to complicate things. So here you have some extra code. That's why this is fine. You are returning, and you also don't need to write else, because if this is not false, this is not true, it will come here. So you can directly write as a false here, return false. So this will, so when this condition is true, it will automatically return. It will not execute this line. But when this condition is false, it will come here. So there is no need of writing else again. So both are exactly same. So this and directly writing this outside is exactly same, because here you are directly returning. So don't complicate things. So this itself returns either true or false. So when any condition you are comparing something, it will always return true or false. So you don't have to manually return true or false. But in find method, you have to return either true or false. So when it's true, you will find method immediately stops, and you will get that element for which it's true. So if it's false, it will find method will keep checking if there is the next element with that matching condition. So you need to provide a condition for which the find element will return true or false. When it returns true, you will get that particular matching element. Otherwise, you will not get that element. So if there is no element with greater than 20, you will get undefined. That is important to remember. Find method will return undefined if there is no element with greater than 20. So let's say this is again 20. So is there any element with greater than 20? No. So you will get undefined as the result. You can see no matching element found, because this condition will become false. So if I print matching element, matching number, you will see undefined. You can see it's undefined. When something is falsy value, as I said, there are only 7 falsy values in JavaScript. To MDN, Mozilla Developer Network. So only these are the falsy values. So if none of this is inside this if condition, so undefined, if the result is undefined, that is a falsy value. So that will become false and it will come in else. If it's null, then also it's false. If it's not a number, then also it's false. If it's 0, that's also false. So when I directly write 0, this is a falsy value. So if condition, inside if condition, you always check falsy values or truthy value. If it's true, you go inside if it's false, you go inside else. So 0 is a falsy value, so you always go inside else. You can see you get no matching. But if I write 1, 1 is truthy value, so you get matching number. Right now this matching number is, there is no matching number, that's why it returns undefined. But if I write 30, you will get matching number 30. You can see, so this is the first matching console, this is another. So if you are writing anything, let's say array, empty array, this is also truthy value. So even though it does not contain anything, it's truthy value because it's not in this list of falsy value. So only these values are falsy. So if I write -0, so here in this case, you will get 30 as a result. If I write -0, that is also falsy. You will get no matching element found. So you need to remember what it returns. So this find method will always return whether which element is matching. So that particular element will be returned. And if there is no element for that matching condition, it will return undefined. That is important. So any question? Yes, you can write anything. So you just need to remember to return either true or false. So if let's say for each of the element, what I'm doing, I'm using find method. So I will get individual element. So let's say final found. And here I'm directly returning false. So here what I'm doing, I'm returning false. So this is implicit return. So this is same as return false. So what I'm doing, I'm looping through numbers array. I'm not checking anything. I'm directly returning false. So when you return false, find method will keep checking for those elements. So if I print this number, so it will keep checking until all the elements are finished and this condition is false. So for the first element, I am returning false. So for 10, I am returning false. So this find method will check for another element. Is this condition true? No. This is also returning false. This is also returning false. So for none of the elements, for none of these numbers elements, it's not able to find any element with value of true. So find method will return undefined. Final found is undefined. But if I return true, so for the first element itself, you are returning true. So it immediately returns this 10. So during loop, this is also looping. So what you are doing, you are looping through that numbers array and you are checking for the individual element. So it's, you are directly returning true. So for the first iteration itself, you are returning true. So find method will immediately stop and you get 10 as the result here. You can see you get 10. So you need to remember, if you return true, it will immediately exit and you will get that element which you are finding. Otherwise, it will keep checking until it's not getting that condition true. It will keep checking until you are not returning true from this callback function. It will keep checking. So here, until you get that value greater than 20, it will keep checking. And as soon as you find that element, it will return. So let's say this greater than 20. So I have this 30 greater than 20. I have 40 greater than 20. This is also greater than 20. But find method will always return the first matching element. So for the first element, it will check, is this greater than 20? No. Is this greater than 20? No. Is this greater than 20? Yes. So when it finds that condition true, it immediately returns 30. So you will never get this 40, 50. So find method will not go to check for 40, 50. So if I print here, so here, I'm checking if that particular element is greater than 20. So this is greater than 20. So immediately you will see that 30 printed here. So this matching number will be 30 printed. You can see matching number is 30. And this matching will only print 10, 20, 30. You can see 10, 20, 30. So it does not check for next elements. Only if this condition is not satisfied. So let's say this is greater than 30 or greater than 40. So this is greater than 40, no. This is greater than 40, no. So you will see matching text for first 4 elements. You can see up to 50 it's printing because this is also greater than 40. So it checks for every element until it finds that particular match. But if it finds immediately, you will see 10 and 20 matching and you will not be checking for the next condition. You see 10, 20 and 30. Why 30? Yeah, this is the 30 greater than 20. So you will only see for first 3 elements. For next 40, 50, you don't see that matching. You immediately get 30 as the result. So that's it about find method. Any question?